Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment here on this beautiful Wednesday night. Wanted to come up with some sort of content that I could make tonight, and I was still just kind of annoyed by some of the rhetoric that's going around the Week 18 game, this Saturday night's game featuring the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars for the AFC South. Now, I did not make a recap for the Titans versus Cowboys. I said after I heard that Joshua Dobbs was starting that game, okay, I don't care. Obviously, they don't care. While he did play better than Willis has played throughout his entire rookie season, this is a signal to me that we don't care. And I would much rather now just hang out with my friends and watch the game at a bar and not be obligated to come on here and necessarily make a recap, because this game is now meaningless. One of the few things that we had to actually look forward to this season for the rest of the year was evaluating Malik Willis, because I'm one of the few that is aware of the fact that this season is 95% over, and that it's been over for weeks. Okay, for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, basically ever since Tannehill was definitely, out for the season. It's certainly been over. So, with that said, I had no interest in talking about the game. Now, my quick recap of the game, and always follow me on Twitter because I always give at least some thoughts on the game. Look, Dobbs played fine. He played fine. I mean, maybe, I don't even know if I'd call it fine. I mean, he was 20 of 39, guys. I mean, let's relax here. Now, there were a couple drops by the wide receivers, and he got sacked a bunch of times because Dennis Daly's an absolute disaster. I mean, literally, the worst left tackle I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally the worst. He's worse than Wills Vitek. He's literally awful. Guys, I actually have lost weight recently. I am 6'2", 167 pounds. I would look like the skinniest player you have ever seen on the football field. Kickers and punters are bigger than me. I have a basketball body. I would do a better job at left tackle than Dennis Daly. Now, I'm going to get some penalties. Okay, I'm probably going to get tossed out for doing some chop blocks, but I'm going to give better effort than Dennis Daly. So it was a disaster in terms of that. I just had no interest in watching. I watched it the next morning. He played fine. But now I'm very annoyed because in Tennessee this season, quarterback play has now become so bad that a C- performance from Joshua Dobbs, who, damn it, has to be from University of Tennessee, and because a lot of the Titans fan base is fans of University of Tennessee, I now have to sit here and listen and read that, well, look at this impressive and encouraging performance by Joshua Dobbs. And I now have to sit here and, I'm being told that I now should even start to think about Joshua Dobbs winning on Saturday night and maybe beginning a run. Joshua Dobbs. Now, I love Joshua Dobbs as a person. What was he, a 4.0 in aerospace engineering? I think it's either aerospace or chemical engineering. I want to say it's aerospace. That's my guy. I love engineers. I went to a school of engineering. I F with engineers. I have one friend that I went to high school with that literally went to UT and studied aerospace engineering. Now, this was after Joshua Dobbs was gone. At least I'm pretty sure maybe like 1 year they were together, but he was a freshman, he was a senior at best. So they never met or anything, and it's a big school for God's sake. But I love my engineers. I love engineers. Personality-wise, I love Joshua Dobbs. I love the fact that he doesn't have eyebrows. I love that. The idea that Joshua Dobbs is going to start a run here, guys, is nuts. Before this game, he had not even thrown in the NFL really at all. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who needed a franchise quarterback after Ben Roethlisberger, needed it, said, you know what, Joshua Dobbs, we're good. Let's go ahead and draft Mason Rudolph next because you're not good enough. And we know how bad Mason Rudolph is. So bad to where they said, you know what, Mason Rudolph, we're good. Now let's go and take Kenny Pickett. They went from a 5th-round Dobbs to a 3rd-round Rudolph to a 1st-round Kenny Pickett. Let me fact check that, by the way, because I'm pretty sure Dobbs was before Rudolph, but let me fact check that. I don't want to get completely wrong on that. But assuming that's the case, and I'm pretty sure that it is, what does that tell you about? And he lost in the training camp battle, because I remember he was at least competing to be the backup for, oh, by the way, Dobbs was a 4th-round pick. He was competing to be Ben Roethlisberger's backup, and he lost to Mason Rudolph. He lost. He literally lost, and I was right. 2017, they took Dobbs in the 4th. 2018, you know what? We're not seeing anything from Dobbs, so now let's take Rudolph. And then Rudolph ended up starting, okay? Now, and there's someone in the chat saying Dobbs had his torn rotator cuff. Again, they can keep him as a 3rd rounder. They can keep him on the practice squad. They let him go. Everyone has let Joshua Dobbs go. There's a reason why you can go all the way to week 15, 16, and he's still available. Because no one wants him. Because they keep bringing him in, and he's a nice guy, whatever. They like in practice, they see what they see, and they're like, you know what? Nah, I think we're good. I think we'll be all right without you. But nice talking to you, son. It's kind of like the girl that keeps dating all of these men. Why does she keep end up in all of these short-term relationships? It's the same with the men. Look, I tell women all the time, and this is my play a game, but I don't run this game. I don't enter relationships. I just play women sometimes, but I don't enter the relationship. But if you see this man is messing with this woman and then this woman for 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, guess how long you gonna last? 3 months. You're the next one to last 3 months. Okay, men and women, you gotta learn this. So, Joshua Dobbs, because he went to UT, I think that's literally the only reason why. And because quarterback play this year has been so bad to where Dobbs can throw in one game more yards than Willis maybe even has combined this season, at least very close. Now people think there's a chance. People are now even saying, well, you can go into next year with Dobbs. People are saying go into next year with Dobbs. As a number 3? Sure. Logan Woodside was a number 3. You can keep him as a number 3. But the idea of, I literally read this tweet. If they decide they can go into next season with getting rid of Tannehill and instead having a competition between Malik Willis and Joshua Dobbs. I literally read that from a pretty reputable name on Twitter. If we go into next season with, even if Tannehill's still on the roster, Tannehill, Willis, and Dobbs, wow, we're doing this again? Really? And we're not even going to be that. I would rather tank than go 7-10 again, or maybe even 6-11 or 5-12 with that garbage, and now we're not even getting a high pick. The Tennessee Titans should lose this week, week 18 against the Jaguars. I think they will lose. I'm not going to completely guarantee it. I really want to guarantee it, although I've already guaranteed it on Twitter. On this channel, I'm not going to do it because as cooler heads are prevailing, I do recognize the fact that Jaguars are getting a little overconfident, and they could end up really sleeping into this game. You know, they could really end up sleeping into this game, or moonwalking into this game, sleepwalking, and then we just kind of end up upsetting them. I do see the potential for that. Our defense sneaking up against them, because while I have given up, I know Jeffrey Simmons probably has not. I know Danico Autry probably has not. I know Bud Dupree probably has not. I know Kevin Byard probably does not. If they show up and they have a great game, And Derrick Henry also has, and they have a great game. We could win. But my thing is, guys, what is the point? I was told when we moved on from Mariota, which we should have done, I was told that we did this, that because despite we could make the playoffs some years, and some years we did, and we won a playoff game with him, it wasn't good enough. We were tired of being a middling team that might make the playoffs. Well, then why are we trying to do that this season with a worse record than we had in those seasons? I was told that we fired John Robinson because we were tired of not being good enough to make a Super Bowl. So why are you trying to this season make a Super Bowl? You have told me time and time again, we're tired of just making the playoffs. So why are we trying to just make the playoffs? That's what you've been telling me. That's what we're tired of just making the playoffs. Well, then why are we trying to make the playoffs? This is a perfect opportunity to not make the playoffs, and then now we will have a top 10 pick. It will be number 10, most likely. So we can't get 7, 8, and 9. I haven't ran the numbers on that, but from what I see numbers-wise, I just don't see how it's possible at all, except for maybe the Raiders. Maybe. I think their strength of schedule will get a decent bump when they face the Chiefs again. I don't think it's going to be enough to surpass us. But if we lose this game and I have the Saints winning against the Panthers, we would move up to number 10 in the draft. And here's the problem. Number 10 in the draft, if you win the division, I think with the record we have at 8 and 9, you would either be picking 19th or 20th. Guys, that is 9 or 10 draft spots in the first round. The Chicago Bears traded a first-round pick, a swap of picks, right? So they swapped their first-round pick with the Eagles, traded an additional first-round pick, and I want to say a 4th and a 5th to move up 9 spots from 20 to 11 to select Justin Fields. This just happened 2 years ago. 9 spots, those 9 spots from being a fringe playoff team at the time, but now a playoff team, to being where we are now, gave the Bears an extra first round, 4th round, and 5th round pick. To where now the Bears, if they draft well, maybe they can do something, but God knows that's hard for them. But that could be a first. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case this year, and I would doubt it, because I doubt that any of the top 3 quarterbacks are going to make it to 11. Definitely not Stroud or Young. Levis could. And then if Levis is there at 11, if he's there, and I don't think he will be, but if Levis is there at 11 and you don't want him, let's say that you evaluate him and you don't want him, I think the Commanders are willing to give you something to move up for him. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are willing to move up and give you something for him. I think the Lions might, although I think they're sticking with Goff now. The Patriots, I think they're thinking of moving on from Mac Jones, but we'll see about that. There are some teams that might move up for Will Levis if you don't want Will Levis and he's there. But then the other angle, what if you want Will Levis? Well, he could be there. Again, I don't think he will be right now. Or if you guys really fall in love with him, you're in position to trade up. And now I'm telling you, now look out. And I'm not sure if we're going to do this. We've already discussed this. If we lose this game, and look at this beautiful game now that I wasn't even thinking about. Consider the fact that the Houston Texans are facing the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Wow. Look at this. So if the Texans win this game, and the Bears will lose because they're starting Nathan Peterman, who I can't believe is still getting NFL checks. How can you have the worst quarterback stat line in NFL history. It has to be. I don't have that as a fact, but it literally has to be. Let me stat check right now. What does he have on his career? I think it's literally 2 touchdowns to 11 interceptions for Nathan Peterman. I literally believe that's what it is. I mean, this guy must be giving some good activity to some coaches in the locker room, if you know what I'm talking about, player. Because there's no way with 3 touchdowns to 13 interceptions that Nathan Peterman is still a backup in this league. He has something that's going on, or he has some sort of leverage over somebody. Something shady is going on there. So he's going to lose. And I think he has never won a game, too. So that's what's going on there. But if the Bears lose and when they lose, and if the Texans win, the Bears now have the number 1 pick. They're sticking with Fields. I think this is a mistake, but they're sticking with Fields. I would easily move on from Fields. I'd trade Fields and get Young in here. All right? I'd trade Fields and get Young in here and say, whoo, we upgraded. You can trade Fields. I think you trade him for maybe a first-round pick. If you could, by the way, what would you do in the chat? I want to know in the chat. If you're the Bears, how do you not upgrade to Young and trade Fields for a first-round pick potentially? Now, you may only get a second, actually. Maybe teams are smart and realize that Fields is not worth the first-round pick. I have not understood the Justin Fields love this year. He's a great runner. That's it. He still can't throw for 150 yards consistently. That does not interest me. He's not Lamar Jackson. Stop it. He is not Lamar Jackson. So, assuming the Bears don't do that, and I don't think they are, I think they love Fields. Their option is there now for the number 1 pick to be available. Now, it'd be a ransom. Coming from number 10 pick to 1, it's a ransom. 3 first-round picks. At least for Bryce Young. Or CJ Stroud if you're a CJ Stroud guy. At least they get the number 1 pick. But it's on the table. So that competition will go down. If the Colts win, the Colts now move from 5th to likely 6th, because I think the Rams are also going to lose. And now there's still a chance, because with the Seahawks now, Geno Smith has 29 touchdowns to 9 interceptions on the season. He's going to pass 30 touchdowns next week. And he still has over 100 pass rating. They're going to keep him for another year. That's what I'm hearing more and more. Just another year, and they're not going to draft Stroud. The Colts are going to be on the hunt for CJ Stroud. And I'm down. Let's play the game. I would play that game, and I would roll that dice, because it's going to be you against the Colts. Because if the Seahawks don't take him, the Cardinals ain't taking him, the Lions I don't think are going to take him unless if they wisen up. Although Goff has played well, so they can't really. The Falcons, they want to try Ritter. Good luck with that. Oh my God, you want to ride with Ritter? I know you took a 3rd rounder on him, but you got to take Stroud after what you just saw on Saturday? Last Saturday, you got to take CJ Stroud. But go ahead and keep your Desmond Ritter, dog. But the Raiders are coming, and the Panthers are coming. You got us. You got the Panthers, you got the Raiders, and you got the Colts. And the race is on. Who wants to trade to the top 5 for CJ Stroud? Who wants him? Who wants him, and what are you willing to get? But now you have that possibility, and if you fall in love with Levis, there could be a little race for him, or maybe he falls to you. Now, I don't think it's going to fall to us right now if you pick 10, because the Panthers are ahead of us, and I think they will continue to be. And they will. Actually, they will continue to be. The Raiders as well, they're moving off of Carr. Now, it depends where Carr ends up going. It depends where Garoppolo ends up going. It depends where Daniel Jones ends up going. It depends what we do with Tannehill. But my move, I want one of these guys, or a tank for Caleb. But we got to be thinking about this, guys, because we're heading into a little bit of a rebuild. In fact, this year kind of counts. Okay, at least a retool, but I mean, look at that. We need another wide receiver, I think, too, because I keep seeing people listing our potential 2024 lineups, and I'm seeing Kyle Phillips in the slot, and I'm saying, wait a minute, stop it. Why is Kyle Phillips in the slot? I don't like that. I don't like that because I already know the game we're going to play again. Oh, well, look out for Kyle Phillips. I don't know if he can stay healthy. I don't want Kyle Phillips in the slot next year. If he earns it, great. Go ahead and play him. I want someone better. We're not playing this game again of having these no-name players in there just because they look decent in training camp. We played that last year, and how well did that go? And I warned you about this. I warned you about buying into Robert Woods. I warned you about buying into Kyle Phillips. I warned you about buying into some of these other players that, well, they look good in training camp, and they're getting excited. No. You play them as backups like Chico Conquo. If they end up doing something, boom. Congratulations, Chico Conquo. You're the starting, tight end next year. And we don't even know what Treylon Burks is number one yet. And I'm already seeing wide receiver 1, Treylon Burks. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Stop it. Slow down. Slow your roll there, boss. I'm not saying that Treylon Burks is a number 1 wide receiver yet. And if we're going into him with wide receiver 1, to be honest with you, I don't like that. Now, I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm saying, remember, Devontae Smith is very good. He could be a wide receiver 1 for a lot of teams, and he's their number 2. It's nice, so I don't like that. I like to have multiple wide receivers with wide receiver 1 until Burks proves he's a number 1. Right now, he's a number 2. He ain't a number 1 yet. Even with A.J. Brown, his great rookie year, he wasn't a number 1. Number 2. That's when he started becoming wide receiver 1, and then middle of the season, he started getting the E, the L, the I, the T, the E. That's how we go on this channel. You can do whatever you want on Twitter. You can do whatever you want on other channels. On this channel, my wide receivers earn their positioning. I don't just give them wide receiver 1, 2, 3 and say, there you go. Nah, you got to earn that. Because this is what happened this season. Disaster. So, we are in good draft position to lose this game, guys. And look, this is my argument as well. Because, and let me charge my laptop before it dies, because that would be absolutely tragic. Also, guys, the argument that people like to make is that, if you're a true fan, how could you want to lose the game? Because you can debate which one matters more. But I think you have to admit that it's subjective. And that fans that want their teams, it's not like they just want them. It's not like we're talking about, let's just lose because we hate the team and we don't want the team to succeed. No, we're saying long-term success. Isn't that what we want? Guys, think about it like this. A lot of you guys, let's say you're a lot of you guys, some of you guys are under 18 or in college, whatever, 100%. There comes a point in a man's life or in a couple's life where you have to decide you're going to move out. You're going to move, and this happens all the time. We're going to move out, or we're going to move to a new place, or we're going to buy a house. You can buy the house that is worth $150,000 right now, let's say. And it's an upgrade. And for the next year, we're going to feel good because we bought the house and we're living in the nice house. But then you look next door to the place you were at before, and they waited. And they said, you know what? We could buy the house, but I think the market's going to look better next year. And I think we should just stay cheaper right now, save up a little more than we would if we, paid the down payment on the house or whatever the interest rate is right now. Let's wait and this is happening right now, literally, guys. As you keep seeing the interest rates go up, if you're looking at the housing market, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's wait because I think it's going to be more valuable in that neighborhood next year. Or the interest rate's going to be much lower and it's going to be a cheaper house next year. Next year you move out. Next year you look, the neighborhood's a lot cheaper. It's still just as nice, but the neighborhood's a lot cheaper. And then you buy it. You saved money, and you saved money. You saved money on rent and mortgage than you would have been paying. Now you're paying a cheaper mortgage over here in the same neighborhood because you waited. It's the same thing. Just because this making the playoffs is a short-term nice thing, we made the playoffs for another year. If you would have waited, you would have saved down the road tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars, whatever the scenario. In my case, it would be thousands, but there are more extreme cases where it's millions of dollars, depending on your tax bracket. So that's my analogy. And we know good and well, if we wait, it's more likely. Now, it's not 100%. Maybe interest rates never actually go lower and they just keep going higher for the rest of time, and we have to bite the bullet on that. I believe that interest rates are going to end up dropping again. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to save money on rent right now. I'm going to stay at home and live with my parents and save on money and just save, and then I think I'm betting that house going to be cheaper. That it's going to be cheaper in time because things are about to crash. I got that feeling. I got it going on. I feel that Tesla stock going to crash. The signs are there. Meta ain't going to be that expensive forever. I feel like it's going down. And the signs are there. So what's the point in buying the stock now just to feel like, well, we got the stock now? Yeah. When if you wait, you know you have a better chance. Picking 10th, you know you have a better chance. It's just a small W to live in a nice neighborhood for another year. Damn the nice neighborhood. Save for a year. You know, you're not living in a bad neighborhood. You're picking top 10. Save for a year, wait, and I guarantee you there's going to be better down the road for you. That's the analogy. So I don't understand why fans don't understand that. Why we have to be like, oh, if you don't want to make the playoffs, you're a fake fan. You're not a real fan. It's like, what are you talking about? We can debate which one is more likely. We can debate, well, can we still live in the neighborhood and then things still do better or not? We can debate it, but you can't act like there's not a debate. Because for you to act like there's no debate is ridiculous. And for you to act like that we're not fans because we're thinking long term, what the hell are you talking about? We love thinking long term. Why would I not think long term? You need to be thinking long term. So there we go. So this is why I feel that we should lose this week. And also like maybe the emotional aspect that you just don't want Jags fans to be happy. Look, I don't care about Jags fans. They're the most miserable, terrible franchise in NFL history. They have no Super Bowl appearances. They have the second worst record ever. The only team that has a worse record is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have 2 Super Bowls. You have 0. You're irrelevant almost each and every year. You've had some of the worst records I've ever seen with some of the worst teams I've ever seen. Your stadium's a joke. And people just straight up do meth in your town. It's disgusting. You get flooded. I don't care. Flooded. Hey, I had it in my Migos there. So I don't care about Jacksonville people. I don't. So I don't care about Jacksonville people. I don't. So it doesn't bother me. Let them have their little W and. Trevor Lawrence is going to get some playoff experience, but it's just a game. It doesn't really bother me. So. All right, that's my argument there. If you have any comments for me, at me in the chat at SportsFan Entertainment. Super chats always go first. And if not, then we will get out of here. All right, David Kahn says, you're a developer, no woman talks to you. My friend, you would be very surprised. You'd be very surprised. All right. SAP says, # collapse for Caleb. Members only said I asked you this last stream, I guess he meant to say. But I'll ask again, as a Raider fan, would you take Carr? I've been thinking about this, but it just doesn't make sense financially, because even if we cut Tannehill as a post June 1 cut, you're only saving $9 million. So to only save $9 million, oh, not $9 million, you're saving $27 million, but you're still paying him a cap hit of $9 million. And then Carr is on the hook for like 40. So now you're on the hook for $50 million from quarterbacks next year. We can't afford that. If you look at our cap right now, we can't afford that. We'd have to cut way too many players to do that. Like, I maybe would even have to include Henry if we did that. It just doesn't make sense. And then the talent wouldn't be here for Carr to win, because Carr does need some level of talent to win. SCP says that sports for entertainment, we need to do what the Bengals did. They were off for 2 years, got Burrow, and went to the Super Bowl. It might be down the pipeline, man. It might be down the pipeline. Someone mentioned, and there's multiple ways to do this. Someone mentioned that, we tanked for Mariota and that didn't work out. Well, it didn't work out for a Super Bowl, but would you rather, what else would we have done? What literally else would we have done? In 2015, okay, so let's say we didn't take Mariota. Who would you have taken? And don't cap, okay? Just don't go back and look at the whole top. Who would you have taken? Off the rip, I'm thinking Amari Cooper. Okay, so we took Amari Cooper instead of Mario. Or maybe you trade down and you get some more picks or something. Okay, if we got Amari Cooper, who now is good, so good that he's changed teams twice. So would he still be with us? I don't know. So what's the difference? We ended up being a playoff team. I love the fact that we drafted Mariota. Mariota was more impactful for this franchise than Amari Cooper was for Oakland. Ultimately, he was. He literally was. He won more games for us than Amari Cooper won for Oakland. Good. We took Mariota. Literally good. Literally. It was either going to be Amari Cooper and Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams has changed teams. So what's the problem with taking Mariota? He won us game. He got us in playoffs. It was fun. It was a good time. You're not going to win that argument, man. Who else would you have taken? Brandon Scherf? What are you talking about? I love the fact that we took Mariota. You ain't going to win that argument against me. Let's see. Alex Mann says, if you're the new Titans GM, what are you doing? We're going to discuss this piece wisely, but I want to lose this game right now, and then we'll discuss step by step in the offseason what exactly. But like I said, I want to trade up for one of these quarterbacks, period. If I'm still watching Will Levis tape, but I want Stroud, and I'm going for Stroud, and I'm saying F it. And I know we don't have a great team around Stroud yet. I don't care. Remember, CJ Stroud went to Ohio State. Mike Rip has strong ties to Ohio State. I think they'd have a great connection and relationship moving forward. I'd trade up for Stroud easily. Church of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is lit. Says Burks is our number 2 when we forced Corey to be number 1 when he was really a number 2. Exactly. We need to get the next AJ Brown, i.e. Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, Kayshon Booty. I think that's how you pronounce it, actually, Booty. I don't know about Kayshon Booty. Or I like Quentin Johnston. I don't know, but I do like Quentin Johnson. I don't know about Kayshon Booty. Addison, I'm still kind of mixed on. But, these guys have a lot of potential. Members only says Super Bowl predictions. As of right now, I have the Chiefs over the 49ers. Again, I know. But that's what I... Actually, do I have the 49ers? Actually, I'll say... Yeah, the Chiefs with the 49ers right now. Wax G219 says that's sports for entertainment, so I think you want to go back to not making the playoffs for 10 years. When did we not make the playoffs for 10 years? I missed that. I literally missed that. I guess you were talking about from 2008 to 2000. Well, we made it in what? 2017? But wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is that? Well, that's not even true. That's not even true. Um, and first of all, we didn't even tank in 2009. We were literally trying. 2010, we were literally trying. And then 2011, we were literally trying, although that one was a rebuild year and we still went 9-7. That was a stopgap year. 2012, we were trying and we literally sucked. 2013, we were trying. We just really were mediocre. That's when we tanked. 2014 is when we tanked. So I don't know what you're talking about because literally from the 2008-13 and 13-3 season, from 2009 to 2013, we were literally trying to be a playoff team. We were literally trying. We went into 2009 thinking we were going to maybe go to the Super Bowl again, or at least compete for the Super Bowl, for the God's sake. No one saw 0-6 coming. No one saw that coming. So that's cap. We only tanked twice in this franchise. 2004, 2005, we got Vince Young. We ended up making the playoffs. 2014, 2015, we ended up making the playoffs in 2017. So it's literally worked. It hasn't gotten us a Super Bowl, but it's literally worked. And then when we instead, because we can do this. So you know what I just said 2009 through 2013? When we were mediocre, but we kept trying and we said, all right, it's okay. Run Vince Young out there again. All right, we drafted Locker. We didn't tank for Locker. We just drafted him. He was just there. And then, rookie year, like a transitory year, but 97. But we had Matt Hasselbeck because we're trying to make the playoffs and we damn near did. 2012. Okay, Jake Locker, Matt Hasselbeck, but we think we can make the playoffs. 2013, we think we can make the playoffs. 2014, we thought we could make the playoffs. Actually, 2015 was really, it was into 2014 when the tank started. So, let me warn you this. If we go down this road next year of Tannehill, Malik Willis, Dobbs, we don't get another high pick, we draft, guess what? It's going to be 6 wins. And then let's say the next year after, guess who's getting older, but we can now maybe get because he's going to be available in 2 years. Let me think of a quarterback I could think of that might fall into that case. Let's say in 2 years we end up getting like a Kirk Cousins. Because we're still trying, we don't need a tank. We need to try. And then we go 8-9 with Kirk Cousins. And then, no, but if we run with Kirk again, and then we go finally, after trying for 3 more seasons, then finally we go 3-14 by accident with Kirk Cousins. And if that's what you're trying to do, I'm not trying to do that. Why are you trying to do that? That's crazy. You do know that's what's going to happen, right? If we don't take by next year and we keep trotting out veteran quarterbacks trying to win games, Vrabel's good enough to get you 6 or 7, or at least 5. And then we go and have 2009 through 2014 of 6 years, 6 seasons of trying for what? To be mediocre. If that's what you're wishing for this team, man, come on. You gotta do better than that. All right. Alex Mann says, as sports for entertainment, I'm a Georgia fan and Stroud made me very nervous in that game. And he should, man. He really impressed me. I needed him to show up in that game, and he did, man. He sold me. Duckford Hughes says, as sports for entertainment, one cheap year with Brady and an upgrade offensive line. Oh, God. I mean, my thing with the Brady thing, are we even getting enough weapons for him? I don't think our weapons are good enough for him. That's why I don't see Brady. He needs weapons at this point in order to really operate. Members only says call Sylvester Williams. I'm not really sure the context of that is, but yep. Andre Bunting, great point, said my Colts fan said we are going to do what they did with the musical quarterbacks if we don't get one now. It's either got to be Stroud or Levis now or Williams or May next year. Tannehill's done. It's done. We had fun. It was great. Cool. Move off. He ain't going to win anywhere else, yo. And I promise you that. unless if he ends up on the 49ers, and that ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna win anywhere else. He's gonna maybe start a year, maybe and a half. He might make the playoffs. I won't care. Then he won't. Then he'll be benched forever, and that's gonna be the end of his career. He's not gonna play until his 40s. He's like 35 next season. He has Matt Ryan at best. Looking down his pipeline, and Phillip Rivers. He's not gonna play that long. He's not. He already had injuries. Like he's hobbled now. It's not gonna happen. All right. And we had a super chat come in. He says, CWGG says, do you think we should try to get Derek Carr? And no, because it would be too expensive, because you have to pay at least Tannehill $9 million cap hit this season. And then Derek Carr is like 40. So now you're paying a cap hit of $50 million next year for your quarterbacks. Way too much money instead of just 36 for Tannehill alone. And we don't have that much money. That's $14 million more to have Carr than to just have Tannehill. You might as well just keep 10. Although I think Carr is a little better. He's only a little better. So there's no point. There's literally no point, and at least we have Tannehill now. So all right, guys, so that's going to do it for me here at Sports Fan Entertainment. I might preview the Jags game, even though I'm not particularly looking forward to it, but it is the AFC South Championship. So if that happens, it'll be up. I might have to do that tomorrow, although I wanted to do a mock draft too. But I guess F it, I could do both. But it depends how I'm feeling, because I feel like this video is enough of a Jags preview. But I don't know. We'll see. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See y'all later.